stupendously well. Triumph fell into that trap and actually switched off the composition they had on defense, ruining their ultimate economy, and Paradigm were able to just take over the game.
Well, speaking of DPS, they are still being shown. Mitsu and Faye once again coming out with the Ashe and the Pharah. This is exactly what we saw before, Jaws, on Numbani, where it was not overly effective because of some great hacks onto those players from Lee Su-gao, who's now going to be having a little scout out. He's found Awkward, and Mitsu isn't going to decide to take that engagement, may decide instead to get a quick hack onto Mystic. Oh, Izzy's down already by Viper!
Izzy gets taken out by a main support. Okay, not what you want to see. Mitsu finds 2 kills, though, as the coach gun is going to send Lee Su-gao to his death. Still, though, Paradigm, right now, they have spawn advantage, too. Brett is going to just put himself on the point, and even the main tank falling down for Triumph. This is a very, very slow walk back to the point. Awkward is still alive, yes, but look how many players they have on the point right now on the side of Paradigm.
Trades here are far from desirable. There's a long dive going in towards Awkward. He's going to be taken down, Jaws.
Yeah, it's pretty much done. Faye is going to go super low as well. Looks like Vibrant has his number also. Nice boop onto Izzy to find the kill. And a sleep as well onto the baby Diva. Beautiful, beautiful sleep dart from Vibrant. Earns himself a nano boost from that as well. Batman falls. That was all opened up by the support too. Who says supports can't frag out? That was Vibrant taking out Izzy and just annihilating the front line. There's no way you can survive that.
It was so long ago, Jaws, but one of the main things that brought attention to Jonak was the fact that he would often get these opening kills, and that's exactly what Vibrant managed to do there, removing that healing. And now Izzy's had to reset their ult bank. They're going to be so far behind on the sand barrier after swapping to Velucio. Chops 40% ahead, and Lee Su-gao almost has EMP to combine with either a Nano Blade or a Nano Winston.
That was a nice hack actually onto Hope. He just managed to actually get back on the high ground though before he fell off. Could have spelled doom for him. Nano boost onto Matman, but look how Paradigm are playing. They're playing back. They don't want to expend ults here because they know they have that Nano Blade.
They almost have all 6 ready to go. Triumph there getting a little bit hot under the collar. Not the ideal play. They allowed Paradigm to be in a disengageable position as Mixer goes for a deep dive.
Nano Blade from Hope. He actually misses Izzy out by an inch, and that EMP is going to land on top of the point as well. Matman is going to go down to the Blade. That barrage trying to counteract some of that damage coming out from the Genji. A little bit of it gets deflected back, but most of it goes wide completely. 2 ticks on the board now for Paradigm. They still have 5 minutes left. Izzy gets taken down. He has no way near a beat. 6 minutes almost they had on this attack, and it might just be a one-push wonder.
How many sleep darts has Vibrant hit thus far? I don't know, but he has also hit a Bionade on Mystic. Faye returns for a freeze on Mixo, props to Primal Rage.
There will be a block to actually stop her from going down, but Faye has no cooldowns. 1 second left on the ice wall. Not
another sleep on Mitsu.
Another sleep dart from Vibrant. I caught that on the corner of my eye. Just him hitting the floor with the Zeds coming out of his face. Vibrant just solo carrying from the support role right now on Paradigm. They cap second point, and they also add an extra minute and 7 seconds to their time bank. This series could be over in the next 4 minutes, Harry. Triumph, if they do get full held, which right now Paradigm look completely unstoppable. This game is just being blown straight out of the water.
Yeah, let's not forget, Paradigm also managed to hold the first point of Numbani until overtime, and then the second point was just as powerful for Paradigm. And well, people say it's a 3-3 meta, but the only 3 I saw there was 3 DPS. We had Lee Su-gao, Hope, and we had Vibrant. That guy hit so many sleep darts. That's probably the most consistent I've seen the hitting of sleep darts over the last few months. Like, sure, there have been more impressive sleep darts on 1-to-1-to-1 basis, but I'm pretty sure Vibrant there had like maybe 80 to 100% ratio of hits on those sleep darts, or percentage, not ratio. Silly maths.
It's okay. People understood what you meant, and that is the important thing. We've, like you said, we've seen like crazy sleep darts. So we've seen I believe Eclipse sleep darting, the EMPing Sombra. Like, that is perfect. But like you said, Vibrant is just so far up there right now with those kind of with those players that he's just hitting so many sleep darts that, well, they're not only crucial, but they just halt momentum too. If you're someone like a Sombra, you get slept, you're dead. Like, there's no way you can translocate. Absolutely not. We are now going to see Vibrant, obviously, again on the Ana, but if a different comp from Paradigm, they're dropping out that Zarya and actually putting it into Sombra instead.
Yeah, this is not what you'd usually see. You'd usually see the D.Va substituted for a Sombra, especially with a newly nerfed D.Va. We are going to see Matman making a bit of a commute back. He's actually leaving Lusugao on a bit of a do-si-do here. Lusugao's stuck holding his hand out, not knowing what's going on, just trying to give a little bit of a high five to the snowy old wall as the remainder of Triumph try and claim so much space. Pimitsu is going to go up in the air, Jaws. He's got the Widowmaker. Those jump shots here will be crucial. There can be no attempts to peek these.
You can... Oh, no, okay, so complete switch up. There we go. Complete 3-3 now for Triumph. Widowmaker would be good to kind of just pick someone off, but who are you really going to pick off? Vibrant's already on the low ground. Lusugao, obviously invisible too. I attempted hack. Mystic, very, very good job of swinging rounds. Nice biogrenade. 3 people hit, and the rest of his team were hit as well. The perfect opportunity now for them to actually march forward. Will be Mystic's mech falling, and you can see now they're just going to get punished for every single step they take. Another 3-man biogrenade onto Pimitsu, Fate, and Izzy. There is no way you can come back from this apart from Awkward actually killing Vibrant. There's 2 rallies now coming through. Pimitsu is going to fall, and Mixo is going to go down as well to Izzy. Self-destruct very desperately used, but that EMP was perfect, removing the shields and the HP bars of Triumph. Brett finds himself 4 kills to still hold on to the point.
And I talked before, after Busan, about how Brett was a difference maker. Some great synergy and communications there with Lusugao. He knew he could get 2 people taken down with that EMP because he actually caught out Awkward, who wouldn't have usually died at that distance to himself to strike, but because 150 of his shields were stripped away by the EMP, 50 damage was easy to deliver from that ultimate. And now, Paradigm look ready to set up again on the defense, and Triumph are going to have to try and make something work with this Earth Shatter.
What a shatter, and a sleep dart onto Mystic as well, so Vibrant is completely safe on the high ground. A nade into the back line to stop the healing coming out from Izzy. Brett is just there to clean on up. Mystic goes for the full reset. Oh my goodness, Vibrant and Brett just absolutely demolishing Triumph right now. There's no defense matrix either to eat that biogrenade because she was slept. This is just perfect play from the Ana.
Well, let's talk Transcendence, Jaws. Is a very powerful ultimate that could be very easily mitigated. That is not the ideal pick right there. Lusugao, misstep. This may well be what Triumph need. Triumph needs to watch out, though. If he uses Transcendence, anyone caught out with a Bardic Grenade will not have any of the healing effects. Vibrant manages to get Izzy.
Izzy is caught out here, but he's not going to get aggressed on. Mixu does receive that nano boost, but can't make that ground. That shadow will hit the floor and only end up finding 1. A Transcendence comes through from Triumph as well, missing not receiving the healing because he is biogrenaded too, but it didn't matter. It was only 1 person and there was no extra damage follow-up from Paradigm. Triumph finally managed to take the point, but just with under a minute to spare.
I talk about value a lot, Jaws, but that shatter from Matman was an absolute meal deal. He managed to catch Chopped midway through his sound barrier cast, put down Hope as the rally was out, and also put down a nano-boosted Mixo. That was as much as you could ask for from a shadow, mitigating 3 ultimates in 1. That is meal deal value.
Self-destruct with the EMP finds Awkward yet again. A Graviton Surge from Pimitsu was launched at the point, kind of wasted. There was no follow-up because you knew EMP and Self-Destruct were going on. Matman's going to go down as well. Pimitsu is going to fall. Bit of a disconjointed set of ultimates there used by Triumph. They have that Self-Destruct now, yes, but they haven't really got anything to combo with it. They're going to struggle to actually make their way into the base. Paradigm are switching up though. No more Sombra. Lusugao is swapping over to Desire.
Gonna have to try for that lesser spotted shatter into self-destruct combination here. Are Triumph, they can wait up and hope for a more profitable fight in the future after not investing any ultimates. Triumph don't have much to try and stop them, however. Mixo's already used for shatter for nothing.
Oh, Hope just tried to get the shield slam onto Matman, but it was little to no avail. There's a shatter this time out from Triumph. They lay 3 out on the floor. Matman now and the gang just rotating to the points. Brett is still trying to stall for additional time, but is now going to be an attempted full regroup here from Paradigm.
That's a double point carry there from Matman. They've got to make sure that their target calling is now on point. Mixo can already go down. There he goes, Jaws.
Chopped is going to be high in the sky on the Lucio, delaying some even more time. But 2 ticks have already been acquired, and the ice wall from Lusugao might just be all that they need. Jumped into ice block just in time before he gets one comboed by the Brigitte and the Lucio at the same time. A rally will come out as well as that shatter hitting the floor. That ball ain't going nowhere. Mystic finds himself 2 kills, and that will be the point. No, second point capped by Triumph.
Transcendence and Graviton there used in celebration. You know that Triumph, there's no way they were letting go of that point with the ultimate bank that they had accrued in. Well, I said it as that stagger began. Matman just carried 2 points with 2 fantastic shadows. Both times, he actually managed to outthink Mixo so hard. And I don't like using... as a Reinhardt, I don't like being nanoed when the enemy Reinhardt has his Earth Shadow. Because at that point, you're forced to spend a lot of your time being overly defensive because you don't want your team to get Shadow. The second that you know Matman has a Shadow and you put a Nano on Mixo, you have to be... at that point, your Xayah has to be on high alert. At that point, you're trying to bait the Shadow out of Matman and you will shield Mixo with a projected barrier so that he can continue getting maximum value out of the uptime of that ultimate. But that wasn't the case. We didn't see the shield come through because Lucio Gao, of course, was on the Sombra. If you are going to give Mixo the nano, you've got to hack Matman so that you can get the value and so that Mixo isn't forced to be sheepish and try and block out that Earth Shadow. Or if he's not and he's going aggressive, he easily gets Earth Shadow like we saw on first point.
Well, now Triumph have to battle to save their time bank. 3 minutes on the board for them. This is very scary. Remember, Paradigm ended up holding Triumph until 1 minute was remaining. That's an extra minute than what they have now to complete 3 threes from both teams as they do roll onto the point.
Trying to save their time bank and save their series because Paradigm sit on match point and have that greater time bank to play with. Mitsu gonna have a little bit of a peek Mitsu right here as he sends out a couple of mortars. He's afflicted with the Discord Orb and will go over elsewhere. Mystic, a little bit caught out there as he went for the dive, but will not suffer for it. No punishment being given by Paradigm, who want to play on the point on the low ground right now.
Yeah, they do manage to... Triumph do manage to get the supports in the high ground. Pretty important for Awkward as there's only really 2 people that can contest him. Is he inflated the Discord? They finally make their moves. They use that speed boost into that small room, jump on that small health pack and deny it away from Brett. But Brett does manage to get the kill onto Faye as they trade Brigittas. Mixo taking a fair bit of damage, just so scared, not willing to let down the shield. Mystic just runs straight into him. And now Triumph have control of the point. They got 3 members on it, capping it in record time. And Paradigm, and they're just huddled in this small room. Viper coming out to get a bit of extra damage down. Mystic's mech ends up falling as they do lay down the sound barrier as well. Paradigm now rushing on forwards as Triumph are all but cleaned up. And will be Awkward going for a quick icy swim as they now have 1 minute, well, less than 2 minutes in their time back, Harry. God, minutes are escaping me as well as their time back is.
Well, you can take a minute away from calculation because Paradigm there had all the calculation that was required. They backed out, they allowed for a tick to be accrued, they let Chopped get the sound barrier, and then made their attack with Lisuga on high energy. And guess what? Lisuga still has that Graviton Surge. He can combine it with Brett and the all-important self-destruct, and there might not be enough here to try and mitigate it from Triumph, especially if they can force out early resources like Mitsu's barriers. They're going to be looking for those.
Well, they do have the Gigantic combo. That is Paradigm. And they do, well, they're close to having on Triumph. Only 20% away from the Self-Destruct and the Graviton Surge. Again, they take the high ground. Same approach as before. They do drop onto the point once more as the Graviton Surge is laid out from Triumph. There is the Self-Destruct shield removed and the lives removed as well from Triumph. 2 kills from the Self-Destruct, and now only a minute remains.
It looks so good in that first push, Jaws, but only 50 seconds now remain for Triumph on this first point. They have 4 ultimates to play with. They invested that Transcendence in the last fight, so Paradigm are going to have an advantage in terms of that ultimate, but will not have an advantage in terms of the potential to make this work. Mitsu and Mystic, it's all about them. Here we've got to hope that Brett can either eat a Graviton Surge or Mixo can hit a Mad Shatter.
Ooh, that shatter goes a little bit wide. Both rallies have been used. Another shatter comes through, and 3 members are sent to the floor. Graviton Surge gets thrown straight out, but Brett is ready and waiting there with the defense matrix. But I've been using that Transcendence in anticipation of the grab, but wasn't needed. Does mean the rest of his team are going to be more than healthy. 10 seconds are remaining for Triumph to actually get onto this point. But Paradigm are making sure they get 0 space. Only 1 tick has been acquired by Triumph. There's still a win condition, yes. Awkward is using that Transcendence to make sure they do march forward, but another shatter comes out from Mixu, as well as that beat being dropped. Faye jumps onto the Wrecking Ball, onto the point to give a little bit more space to the team, or what team is there left. Matman ends up going down. Triumph in 3 minutes managed to secure only 1 tick, and now Paradigm just need a tick and a bit in order to secure the entire series.
Oh boy, I told you. What did I tell you? The win condition was Brett eating the Graviton, and that's exactly what Brett did. And after that, it was just a comedy of errors from Triumph. They lost their win condition. They didn't figure out what they needed to do. Matman made a very spurious charge, hoping that potentially he might be able to grab a pin that could push someone into the self-destruct that was thrown out pretty willy-nilly because there was no Graviton to combine with it. And in the process, he just fed himself over to Vibrant, who had a charge shot ready and waiting to go. And he was like, oh, there's a Reinhardt in front of me that I didn't expect. So that's 5-3 orbs, and that allows you to keep building up towards the Transcendence as well. That helps you brawl out. And then they don't have a shield either. So guess what that means? That means Lee Sugao can farm you. He can farm you forever. He's got so much energy. And, well, that's a clap for Brett. That was the win condition, and he pulled through.
45% now stands in the way of Paradigm and claiming their first series of NA Trials. Really scary situation for Triumph. Really scary. Again, they are down in the gutters with Phase 2 and Paradigm right now. Only just though for Triumph, they still have secured a series win so far. They're just on a -5 map differential as well. Putting them just under Underwater Squad, ironically enough. Oh, jumping onto the Widowmaker, Harry. They've got 5 minutes to work with to capture 45%. Very scary if you're Triumph right now.
If Paradigm can take the series, they may take that number 6 spot from Triumph and be within reaching distance of that Contenders spot proper in North America. Triumph, like you said, they're going for the gambit, as we call it, the double DPS, hoping for that full hold. Awkward's going to be in the back. Here comes the Dynamite. Will actually catch out Brett, but he's going to be easily healed through that by Paradigm, who once again have hope on the Genji. And oh boy, does he supply a lot of hope to me of some wonderful blades.
Ooh, that was a very, very close to being deflected rocket. Getting a deflected rocket is pretty satisfying when you can actually hit the fire as well. Nice little jump on there. Nice little boot from Mystic, though. Oh my goodness, Miso did not see that coming. Couldn't even see Mystic, who was actually behind him at the time. Madman is going to get traded up, and Izzy goes for the res. So actually, that's a 1-0 trade right now. Mystic does get stunned and actually taken out of the mech. Miso is going to clean up. Hope they continue to hold for now, Harry. But Paradigm, look at the roles that they got coming up. Nano, they got the EMP as well, and Hope is working towards that blade. He's only 35% off.
Vibrant once again has got the opening pick onto Faye right here. There's going to be no chance to resurrect as Izzy has already used that. Lee Sugao's behind right now, having a look at Mystic. There's the EMP.
Nano boost into the EMP. Awkward and Mystic left high and right on the high ground. They have nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Izzy gets hacked as well as he glided down to the earth. Triumph end up forfeiting the point, and Paradigm, with 45%, managed to secure the map and the series for their first win in NA Trials.
Mixo there, getting his revenge for the early cheeky boot from Mystic, using the Nano Winston on the EMP'd masses of Triumph. And now, we got to look at Paradigm. They want to try and claim that 4th map. If they can do so, it's very likely they'll claim that 6th spot and be ever closer to cementing potentially that 5th spot that will bring them over to Contenders.
Are on the up. This was the series they needed to do it, because it is now halfway through NA Trials. If you don't make your stand here and flip it around, there's almost no hope for you. I mean, the 3 bottom teams will not obviously qualify for Trials. Phase 2 took a pretty unfortunate hit already today from Chicken Contenders, and Paradigm were actually in the worst off spot in that situation too. So them like flipping it around completely is not only going to give them massive confidence for, well, I guess this next map and the later games on in the weeks to come, but it's also going to put other teams very weird. It's going to put Triumph in a bit of a weird situation where they are now going to face some of the strongest squads in the next coming weeks.
What it's going to do, Jaws, is going to shake everything up, and we're shaking up as well, going over to Escort. Once again, is going to be the map choice of Triumph, and they're going to over to Rialto. And, well, this is enough shenanigans, Triumph say. We've had enough of these DPS compositions. We tried it on Busan, and it didn't work, but now we've got a little bit more faith in our 3-3. We're going to go toe-to-toe with Paradigm, and we're going to hope that we can make it work out here.
I just want to see Paradigm run the DPS again. I don't see what is wrong with them running DPS at all on this map. 3-3 is pretty easy to kind of take over the courtyard if you're extremely quickly, but if you're running like long range DPS like an Ashe, for example, and
that's also good here.
mean, you could also run the Pharah. I was also going to say Genji because you can use the high ground, although Genji not amazing in this map because there's no real avenues to get to the back line. It's pretty well coordinated. You can pretty well sniff out any Genjis that are trying to make a big flank, but you're going to put Triumph in a situation where they are again going to have to try and counter you doing that, which they haven't really been able to do. It's really been the 3-3 that has been so equal between these two teams, and now Triumph are on the defense, Paradigm on the offense. We'll see if Paradigm want to come out with something rather risky. They are hovering the Widowmaker potentially just for a little peek out the gates to start off with, but Triumph, they're just going with the old-fashioned 3-3.
So I wouldn't mind Paradigm coming out here with a little bit of DPS to try and maybe counter out some Triumph aggression. You do have to expect on Rialto that people will come to contest for cart straight away. That's exactly what Triumph are going to be showing off right here. Hope does still have a Widowmaker out. He will try and go for some early picks, may decide to try and get a couple of shots onto Awkward, who's forced to back off from his little hidey hole.
Faye's dead. How did Faye die to Vibrant? Of all people, Dizzy's dead as well. How did you die to a Zen this early on? He gets the mech of Mystic. Awkward is going to kill off Mixo, but he's right next to Spawn. Vibra finds 3 kills and a D-mech at the start of the game.
Jeez,
has got 50% ult charge already.
Vibrant is smurfing in Contenders Trials right now. He's just doing,
he's doing so much.
And Faye is so far behind now on ult charge compared to Hope because he was taken out so quickly, and all of his space has been seeded for free. Madman's going to bring everyone forward. Mystic's going to eat up that Fire Strike, but Mixo's exactly where he wants to be. He's got an Earth Shadow down.
But he gets booped up in the air. So easy shields from Madman to make sure he had the reaction time quick enough for that. Awkward has the Transcendence. Vibrant not quite so. That's quite an interesting turn of events. It's actually Awkward who has the first Transcendence online. Vibrant only 10% away, however. You should be able to get it in the next couple of seconds.
Yeah, they are going to be leveraging the high ground here, so Vibrant can have a lot of nice vertical cover to try and exploit. Make sure he isn't caught out by any fire strikes. Mixo does have that Discord Orb on himself. He's going to be knocked back by the whip shot and rounded upon by the Triumph defense.
There's the both trances now available. Mystic going extremely low, has to back off. That beat as soon as it was gotten, as soon as it was laid out. Graviton Surge as well has been put on top of that small shrub. The Transcendence keeping them alive. Pivomitsu goes down, though I believe he was on the other side of the plant, so he didn't actually receive any healing. 2 for 2, no, 1 for 1 even. Oh well, numbers already escaped me. I shouldn't be calling those. Like 1 for 1. Oh wait, they're all already dead. Okay, well Pivomitsu and the gang are going to end up going down. They've got a lot of ults to work with, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to get a touch here, Harry.
I'm going to call one superfluous ultimate. I don't think Mixo needed to use that, and now he has to be a lot more defensive than Matman does. Who knows that Mixo won't have that available. He can swing for the fences and try and get a cheeky Earth Shadow to begin with.
Self-destruct onto the bridge. Everybody goes to cover. There's a sound barrier straight on top of that grab. The self-destruct not doing all of anything, although Mixo was able to... Batman was able to punish Mixo for being so far forward. They're still going to have man advantage here, as Hope is just scurrying around the corner, trying to get away, but didn't quite manage to make it. They do manage to get back onto the point on time, Harry, but it was a very expensive fight.
It was indeed, but it was also expensive for Triumph for the last 2.5 minutes of their time bank washing away, and now they are in the worst possible position. This is the longest place away from your spawn, obviously. Every fight you lose here will drain your time bank so hard, and Paradigm are actually quite close to their own, or rather, Triumph are very close to their own spawn and have, once again, this Shadow ready to go. Mixo's catching up pretty fast, but still has to be very careful regarding his actions with Matman.
Nice grab. Into the shatter as well. There's that Transcendence was already coming out. Awkward just saving his entire team. Now, we are going to look at maybe a blank fight here. There will be no tank ultimates available. Oh, they got a Graviton Surge. They threw one tank out. There will be Vibrant as well to actually make sure the team survives on the points. Mixu gets charged away as Awkward does end up finding the kill. They're going to use that beat as well to make sure they can survive on top of it. Mystic is going to fall as well. They've got to be able to touch the guy here, Harry, like you said. Triumph have only got one really ult coming up online, and there's going to be the sound barrier extremely soon. Mixer, if he can get back in time, he has got that Shadow. Graviton Surge thrown in. There's 3 people caught up, and a beat is going to get laid down by Izzy to make sure they can survive. Hope and Chopped end up falling as well. Pivomitsu gets 2 kills as Mixo comes back in. Awkward saves the rest of his team as everybody was laying down on the ground by the Shatter from Triumph. Pivomitsu still has that grab as well, Harry. There is Brett trying to get back on the point. The grab just on a dead body. A victory celebration as Triumph are able to hold first against Paradigm.
I really would have liked to have seen Lisugal go for a more creative Graviton Surge. I think if he'd grabbed people further away from the cart when it seemed so spurious the manner by which Triumph were contesting that they could have actually just pushed it in towards the finality of that stage. But Triumph have come back alive. Unfortunately, it's a little bit late to win the series. Could be enough to win this map. However, Paradigm are going to have to do better if they want to get that 4-0. These map wins they're so thirsty for after that last place beginning of today.
This is the Triumph I think everybody wanted to see at the start of this series. They were coming in as more or less favourites, as Paradigm were kind of suffering at the bottom of the board. Although Paradigm have faced extremely tough opposition over the last three matches they've had. Chicken Contenders in the first week, Sky Foxes as well, who are just so dominant so far, and then they also faced Bermuda. So it maybe could have been said that it was more inevitable that Paradigm would be at the bottom of the standings right now, but showing up today has just been kind of it's been kind of good for not only them but for morale for their fans too, of just being able to demolish Triumph in the first three maps. Now Triumph is starting to come back. They only need to really cap first, and then they can at least score 1 point on the board.
Triumph may be fleeting. Their map score may be as well. They need to be able to claim this one if they don't want to have that absolutely shredded after this match with Paradigm, who do look like they're going to be going for a very offensive, defensive positioning right here. Don't want to give anything over for free to Triumph. Lisugal's already going to use that personal barrier, so he may now be a primary target, Jaws.
Uh-oh, he's not playing like he just used it, I'll tell you that. He was actually on top of the car, and still is. Fate going extremely low. So is Mixo, though. So is Ratman, though. He's going to go down as well. Going to reconvene back in their spawn for Triumph. Mystic might as well die. Needs to reset anyway, as Hope finds 2 kills.
Could be a disengage here, though. They don't have Mixo, which is a significant disadvantage in the 3-3 versus 3-3 matchup here. Lusugal's got a lot of energy, though, but not a lot of health once he uses that personal barrier. Also, very prone to being knocked off.
Yeah, awkward. He got paid a little visit by Brett. Actually knocked off of the high ground. Lisugal is going to go down. Beautiful boop there by Izzy to actually send Hope into the drink as well. Another nice boop as well. This time on Chopped. Famitsu also takes a drink, but Triumph still have spawn priority. 3 minutes on the clock carrying Paradigm. They're going to have another tack, but look at the ults coming out for online for Triumph right now. They already have Trans. They already have that rally too, and they've got 2 tank ults on board in the next couple of seconds.
Basically, everyone Jaws is ready to have an ultimate. So we'll have to see how this next fight's going to go. Lisugal's already posturing, throwing in a couple of mortars, but hold on to your hatches, ladies and gentlemen. This one's going to get absolutely fast because there's about to be 12 ultimates on the field.
There's going to be a lot of Q keys being pressed. There's one on top of Brett. That Earth Shatter is going to not do all too much. That Transcendence, though, Mike. Self-destruct straight on top of the Graviton Surge. Brett ends up finding 2. Will be the mech also falling. Mystic and Faith, they're just going to dunk themselves right into the Riviera. Triumph. They end up getting taken out by the Giganti combo again, but they have one of their own for the next fight.
4 ultimates invested there by Paradigm, which is an expensive fight, but Triumph also invested the Earth Shatter, the Transcendence, and that all-important rally. Izzy and Chopped are going to be competing now. Who can be less chicken with a sound barrier? If you can get the second sound barrier, that's a great boon for your team. Having that slowly degenerating shield be a little bit lasting.
Hope it's a little bit longer lasting than Matman's health bar last time around. Mixu does have that shatter, but Hibamitsu throws out that grab. There it is. Self-destruct from Mystic, planted straight on top. That shatter behind isn't going to be enough. Mixu goes down, but so does Mystic. There will be 2 beats being lain also, as Paradigm their barrier is going to deplete a little bit quicker than Triumph's. They did lay out a little bit later. Vibrant and Hope end up falling as well, as Triumph are going to be able to clear the rest of Paradigm off of the cart. They still have that Shatter and that Transcendence left to them, to only 1 ult of Paradigms who have to make a scurry for the cart now.
Chopped here, escaping is incredibly important. He cannot have to wait for respawn to bring everyone back. They will be ready to contest here, but Matman can lay down all of their hopes. He can lay them on the floor. He can shatter under them. They just need to be able to find a way in onto the next turn.
Graviton Surge being thrown in. Orca's going to match it with the Transcendence. There's no bomb to really be had. Izzy goes down already as Vibrant finds and clicks on his head. 2 rallies have been thrown out as well, and a good shatter lands on top of Lisugal, but he's still alive somehow. A Graviton Surge again thrown in, this time on the side of Triumph is going to get matched with another shatter. Mystic is going to be on the floor as there's no damage follow-up on the Graviton Surge, as Paradigm find 1 after 1 after 1 pick. 40 seconds now remaining for Triumph. It seems no one can cap first point.
Mixo there, the absolute clutch for 5-man Shadow from inside the Graviton. No one expected that he would have gained it that quickly. And now Chopped does have that premium again on the sound barrier. He can make sure his team can control the tempo. They can take whatever fight they want. They have the luxury of that 750 overshield. Meanwhile, Triumph, they've just got to make a mad dash to a point. Hope Awkward gets this Transcendence, but will it be enough to temper the aggression of Paradigm?
99% on Awkward as well. He has the support ultimate available. They do lay it out as soon as the sound barrier is laid out as well. Everybody's going to be invincible for this one. Self-destruct, not quite invincible enough. Mixo ends up going down. Main tank falling for Paradigm. This is their chance. Graviton Surge thrown out and a self-destruct kill. In fact, oh my goodness, Brett's mech has just got disintegrated. Vibrant couldn't get his Transcendence online quick enough. And now it's only a baby Diva against the world as Chop as well, just trying to fight the front line, but it's not going to be there. EC comes back with the beat. Mixo's here with the shatter, but it goes straight into Matman's shield. Self-destruct with a Graviton Surge on top of the cart by Brett, but it's too little. It's gone, Harry. Overtime's going to dig through, but it's not before Triumph can finally find the cap. They at least get one win in the series to bring their score a little bit upwards.
Whew, a second to catch breath. A second to catch breath. Matman having a nice little T-pose there. that was a really good last fight there. Paradigm, unfortunately, they lost Mixo early. That meant there was nothing to stop Matman coming through with that Earth Shadow. Could put down so many members of Paradigm. The follow-through onto only one was all that they needed. And Mixo did manage to return to the fray, but too little and too late. That last fight, Triumph clutching it out. Some great direction there from Matman to always know when his shadow would be the most effective.
It's done, Harry. It's all over. Triumph, unfortunately, only claiming one map in that series, but what an upswing for Paradigm. 3-1 scoreline to end it all out. And now they've got to look forward to the next few games. They've already faced some of the hardest competition already. They faced Skyfoxes, they faced Bermuda, and even Chicken Contenders, who have been stepping up and elevating their game as well. Next match for them will be against Square One, another upwards hill battle. But if they can carry forth this momentum and just this confidence that they've been playing with, maybe they just take Square One's number as well.
Yeah, you're definitely right that momentum and mentality here are going to be super important, especially in Trials teams where they may be slightly more newly formed or less experienced. The mental game can really affect them, especially if they've had a bad scrim or something, or you feel like you're on a losing streak. Being able to regain that feeling of we are Contenders Trials players, we are damn good at Overwatch. That can really give you the confidence to try and take the game to someone like Square One, because often you can revere these teams that are on the top of the scoreboard and you can play a little bit more scared, allowing them to really play the game their way, and you give them space to dominate you even harder.
We do have 2 matches coming up, of course. There will be a short break, however. We have Underwater Squad versus Square One and Skyfoxes versus Bermuda. This is our top of the bracket games as well. These are